Every night, my son wanted me to do that one thing for him. And I always did, even when I was exhausted, even when my bones ached. I did it because it was easier than hearing him complain. That's what mothers do, right? At least, that's what I always believed. I've lived my entire life here in Cleveland. For 40 years, I worked at a laundry plant on the east side, a place that smelled of bleach, metal, and tired dreams. My hands were always rough. The skin cracked no matter how many times I used lotion. But that job paid for our tiny home and kept food on our table. That was enough for me. I had my son, Mark, when I was 19. His father left before Mark was even born, said he was moving for work. He never came back, so it was just the two of us against the world. When Mark was little, he'd wait up for me every night. No matter how tired I was, I'd make his grilled cheese the way he liked, extra butter, no crust. He'd grin and say, "You're the best, Mom." And for that one moment, my exhaustion melted away. I never got married. I dated a man named Carl for a while, but Mark hated him. He'd say, "It's just you and me, Mom. We don't need anybody else." I was foolish enough to believe that. So Carl left and life went back to just me and my boy. Mark was a bright kid, smart enough to go far. But as he grew, that brightness turned into entitlement. By the time he was in high school, he'd stopped helping around the house. "Mom, that's your job," he'd say. And I'd do it, because I thought love meant doing everything. Turns out love without boundaries turns you into a servant. Mark never left home. No college, no job. "The world's tough right now," he'd say, sitting on the couch while I limped around making dinner after my shift. My joints had started to ache. My back throbbed at night, and still I cooked, cleaned, washed, and folded his clothes. "You're just better at it, Mom," he'd say, with a smile that used to make me melt. Now it just made me tired. He never noticed I was getting weaker. He didn't see the way I used the walls to steady myself when walking at night. He didn't hear the small sounds I made when I bent over to lift his laundry basket. All he saw was what I could do for him. I realized something one morning when he shouted at me because I bought the wrong cereal brand. It hit me then. My son didn't see me anymore. I was just a function, a habit, the woman who made things happen. It all broke one Tuesday. I tried to lift his muddy boots by the door, and something tore in my lower back. I collapsed to the floor, unable to move. When Mark walked in, he didn't rush to help. He just looked down and said, "Is breakfast ready? I'm running late." That sentence, it cut deeper than any pain I'd ever felt. At the hospital, the doctor was clear. If you keep straining yourself, you could end up paralyzed. You need to stop working. I told Mark. His first response was, "So how are we going to pay the bills?" Not, "Are you okay?" Just money. Just himself. The final betrayal came when I found my pain medication half empty. Mark had taken them. My own son. The one thing keeping me from screaming through the nights. Gone. That day, I told him to leave. He was nearly 50. It was time. He didn't argue, just packed his things and walked out. As the door shut behind him, something unfamiliar filled my chest. A lightness I hadn't felt in decades. Peace. For the first time in my life, the silence in my home didn't feel lonely. It felt free. It's been nearly a year since then. My back never healed completely, but my spirit did. I joined a local reading group, women my age who laugh louder than life itself. I even started painting again. My walls are covered in colors that make me smile. My little house finally feels like mine. I miss the boy Mark used to be, not the man he became. Sometimes I wonder if that makes me a bad mother. But then I think about what that kind of love cost me, my youth, my body, my joy. And I know now, that's not love. That's survival. I've learned that it's never too late to reclaim yourself. Never too late to say no more. To remember that you are a person, not just someone's mother or caretaker or servant. This isn't the life I dreamed of, but it's finally mine. And that, after all these years, feels like enough. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.